9.
10.
Yizzo!
Oh, I know y'all happy to hear that. Yes, we are back in the motherfucking 2023.
Wow! I don't even remember how to do this, in all honesty. I'm like, is my stuff recording? Is everything okay?
Does my mic sound nice? Check 1.
What?
I think so. Look at our mics. First of all, if you're on Patreon, you will notice that our mics are cute. They're cute.
I feel like I'm gonna touch the mic, Monty. Sorry, and adjust it. There you go. Shout out to Monty, still editing for us. Didn't quit yet, like the other editor. No shade, but shade. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Yeah, and big shout out to Black for upgrading us with our new mics and giving us the discount because he just had them sitting in his studio collecting dust. Hallelujah. And I said, ho, how much is that? Hallelujah. So, anyway, hi.
New year, same me. Not much has changed. I've made it through the holiday season. Shout out to everyone that supported. Lots of Around the Way Curls listeners came and said hello and purchased.
At the Christmas Village?
Yeah, somebody gave us a tip to always mention the different events because the streets are watching and listening and they will come through with the come through. So we hopefully have more stuff like that lined up for y'all to get into. But yeah, I guess this is years going on the second week of January. I'm still reviewing the year before. You and I had a productive Around the Way Curls meeting.
6 hours.
Did it.
We did.
And next week I start a new class. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I start a new business course at CCP, which was listen, I didn't finish college.
What is
but
CCP?
I went to CCP, which is Community College of Philadelphia, and I went to Temple, and CCP was a far more nurturing, wonderful experience. So I'm really excited to be back in those corridors. But it's going to be every Friday from 7:30 till 5:30 at night, from the morning till the evening, just extensive courses. So I'm nervous.
What are the courses? Are you finishing your degree?
No, it's not a degree. It's a Goldman Sachs 10,000 Businesses is the program. And so I am not mentorship, but more where they take different qualified businesses and go through extensive modules around stuff like negotiation, getting funding, reading your financial reports, being a good leader. It's just, setting you up with other businesses, creating networking events, offering lots of resources and places to find reach out. We back. Gotta go to the library and do shit or whatever.
Library, actually.
I'm excited. I'm very excited and scared at the same time. I haven't been in school for a very long time, and it feels like a great opportunity.
Amen. I love that for you. Oh man,
that's what's happening over here.
Very good. I just took a picture of us and put it on the stories and said, "Guess who's back?" I wasn't ignoring you, Queen. I just wanted you to know that.
Just creating content. I hear you.
There you go. We said we had to do it now.
Creating content now. Let's
go. For me, I am New Year, hopefully not same me in all honesty. Oh. And it's not the same me as we were talking earlier. I almost put in 2 weeks. I actually did put in 2 weeks at my job, and then my boss talked me out of it.
Real different. Wow.
Because it got tricky. It got tricky. And I was like, wow. I literally said, this isn't how I want my body to feel. Wow. I was like, what in Ashanti?
Wow.
Where is my health insurance coming from? What are you doing? But creating very, very hard but healthy boundaries with a whole lot of folks. I have never said no more in my life. No, I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity. I'm sorry, I will get back to you. Or just not answered. I have not been using my text messages as this thing that I have to respond to right away. Like there's not this immediate access to me. And so that feels really good, but it came on the heels of like the holidays being very hard. The holidays were really hard this year. I was really down. When I got back to New York, I had big plans to like settle in, be still, be quiet, and none of that really happened. And then I just went through like this bout of sadness. And I didn't even necessarily, I knew where it was generating from, and it was all of these different places. Because the holidays will bring it up for you now. But I just needed to sit and I guess unpack that and let it breathe a little bit.
You got the opportunity to do that, or you didn't get the opportunity?
I didn't the way that I wanted to, but I took it when I got back at the little that I could. And I sat and I wrote whatever. And then I was supposed to get a trim, and they cut off. If you're looking on Patreon, I am back to high school me. I look like George Washington in some occasions.
No, she doesn't, y'all.
No, first of all, right now it looks good because of the headphones. When you take the headphones off and you don't have this body going on in the front, it gets real tricky over here. So I'm back to high school me. They took about 6 inches off my head, even though I said I was growing it out. Shanti was sad for me. I'm taking all the biotin, all of the collagen, and I cried for like a week.
It hurts. Every person that is attached to their hair listening to this knows the pain.
And you know this has happened to me numerous times.
Many times. Girl.
I get somewhere and they say nope. I'm like, what the fuck? But go ahead. I cut you off.
No, I remember getting my hair cut and going to sleep. While I'm going to sleep, all I'm thinking about is the past styles that I had, the things that I could do. Gone. And then waking up and being
bald-headed again.
All I think about is being bald-headed. And the regret. The sadness.
The sadness. The sorrow.
But it goes away in a week. In a week, it goes away. It's the first couple of days.
Quite away. I will say that they shaped it well, but it's short. The top knot is gone. My bun that I was rocking can't do it. So here we are. I'm just going to have to do my hair every day and cry. What else? I also got super motivated. I can't wait to talk to y'all. And now I'm about to mess up the gentleman's name. Child. Anyway, my friend Black, he was on the podcast. Y'all know him and y'all loved him. My friend Black has been telling me about the importance of sunlight for so long. And the way I have been like, yeah, I can't get up there early to take no walk and have the sun hit my eyes. This white man, Dr. Huberman, he is a neuroscientist. He told me to get some sunlight in the morning. I said, stay less.
Conditioned. If the white man on YouTube says it, then it's real.
Let me be honest. Let me be for real. I'm going to get into this. We're going to get into this next week, not this week. But we're going to get into some of Dr. Huberman. He is brilliant, and he's changed my whole morning ritual. And I won't spill it now, but I'm going to. So that's something that I'm fighting exhaustion from getting up earlier and doing this. But I do see that it is helping me manage myself better. And then lastly, Sean, my godson, your nephew, he turned 13
Sean
yesterday.
Is the first baby of the squad, everyone. He is the first pregnancy announcement. He is the first birth. He is the first collective care that we gave as friends. He was a sweet baby and as a sweet boy, and it was wonderful.
So please send light and love and well wishes to that young man as he enters into this new era of, I don't know, puberty, of
it's getting
manhood.
Crazy now.
I know. Now it gets
Internet
real.
got him the autobiography of Malcolm X, which I laughed at first.
Excited about.
But that's the age every person I've talked to, myself included, but that was about the age that which I think is wildly. I need to read it again because my sense
you never
of
went back to it.
No, not as an adult. My sense around race and gender and religion and politics and everything is so different now. I really wonder how I would.
You should definitely go back to it. I reread it in college as well and was like, damn. But got him some cologne, got him some acne stuff, got him all the things that little boys will need, and told him, like, listen, You could talk to me, and it stays between me and you. He was like, I know, I'm gonna talk to you. He told me he needed to talk to me about his recent breakup. So we're gonna chat.
Not his recent breakup.
I know. She was controlling. So he's making wise decisions already. Anyway, that's it. That's the updates, y'all. Not much going on. But we're back. How do you feel about after being off for how many weeks were you off? 3 weeks from recording?
I feel much better about coming back than I did the first time we took a break and I came back. I didn't have much anxiety. I felt excited. I felt semi-prepared. Felt excited about the topics that we had. There's a lot we missed, and we get to
deep dive into them. So with that said, this week we are going to give you, it's kind of like The View when they have a whole episode of Hot Topics.
Is The View back into that?
What?
Is The View back?
Of course The View is back.
Oh, okay.
What you mean, girl?
I thought they went on break too.
First of all,
Barbara Walters passed. R.I.P.
And R.I.P. to Barbara Walters, the God. But, we are going to give pop culture and politics for both episodes this week. And then we'll come back with our regularly scheduled program next week. But in the meantime, in between time, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and share. And I want to put an emphasis on subscribe, just to give good folks some background in the way podcasts, I guess what analytics work, is that technology has not caught up with podcasts yet. And so every time you listen to a podcast, that's great because you are going to give us something called an impression. But they haven't figured out how to calculate listens. So the way that podcasts calculate any kind of like analytics is through downloads. And so if you are not going to subscribe to Around the Way Curls, which I highly suggest you do, because you will automatically get the downloads on your phone. But please download the episode when you listen to it, and you can always take it off your phone and undownload it. But that actually is the thing that helps us with ad revenue, with more visibility, and when we're pitching ourselves. And we are indeed pitching ourselves. Days. We are whoring ourselves for capitalism. So please feel free to help us out with that. Anyway, hot shit. Go ahead. You talk about yours first.
Now, this show has been off for a minute, but I watched a little bit during the break, and I realized how genius and incredible it is, and funny as fucking hell. I was cackling. Southside on HBO. Have you ever heard of Southside or watched it?
Never watched it.
So it just chronicles a group of people in Chicago. There's a cop duo, and then there's this group of people that work at a furniture. Oh, you okay? Is everything all right?
Something in my eye. Go ahead. I'm listening.
At a furniture rental store. It's Black excellence. The shit is just, I don't get all the references. There's lots of references to Chicago that I don't get. But if you're from Chicago, I know you love that the show shows the South Side. And it is created by, I guess they're brothers. I just love their names. Bashir and Sultan Salahuddin. What in the... You can't tell me that Arab names don't demand fucking respect. Those are like, they hit hard. Yeah, my name is Bashir Salahuddin. Sultan Salahuddin. Shout out to all of the Arabic Black Muslims and the Middle Eastern people. Because y'all I don't think anybody's name hits like a fucking Arab name. So check that out and support those Black men. And one of them, I think it's Bashir. He's married to a good friend of a Mebit. So do you know a Mebit has a whole group of girls that they were working and like writing a lot of comedy. They were putting out a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I followed them for a really long time. And he's married to one of the girls, and she's on the show. And I'm so sorry, I forgot her name, but she's a light-skinned cop. Hilarious, talented, just I love it.
I'll have to check it out. That also, I don't know why I just thought about it, but I skipped over your unpopular opinion at Sean's birthday, and I do want to go back to it because it's very important, everyone, that you understand that we were at, where were we at? Texas
Girl.
Roadhouse or something?
We were in Kentucky. Somehow we ended up in Middle America in Northeast Philadelphia. We walked in there. The amount of biker,
it was an interesting
trucker
crowd.
hats.
I looked in there and was like, everybody in here has insulin in their pocket.
Everybody in there voted for Trump as well.
No, except for us. Our black asses in there like, yeehaw. Anyway, we were at Texas Roadhouse, child. And they said the ribs was going to fall off the bone. So I said, all right, say less. I don't never buy ribs. I don't never eat ribs like that. I'm going to give me a rib. And Shanti, what'd you say?
I said that I don't order ribs out. I will fuck up a rib at a barbecue, but the only time I order ribs out if they're Asian, like Asian prepared ribs.
You said I don't fuck with black people ribs.
I don't fuck with restaurant ribs. I eat a rib at a barbecue, at a people grill it, I will, but I won't go to a store. I won't go to a place and purchase ribs unless they're Asian. Unless it's like an Asian
and why is that?
And prepared.
So Asians have the best ribs is what you're saying?
Yeah, this slaps. Don't you know? Yes.
I've never been to an Asian barbecue, so we need to go. But I thought...
Well, it's not... we're going to go. Even if you go to like a Japanese place, sometimes they'll have rib. They have like a spare rib on the menu. Oh,
wait, the Chinese store spare ribs, they don't count?
No, no, I did not go to the Chinese.
Right?
Yeah, no, I've never. Should I?
What?
I've never.
Yeah.
I'm so mad if you go to a Chinese restaurant, Golden Rice on the corner, there's some spare ribs.
Golden #1 restaurant right now, and I know it's one in Philly named that.
With a yellow awning and a red
bung and a red writing because they took their classes on advertising. Shout out to them. All right, well, moving along. This is another unpopular opinion. There's a white woman on YouTube that is reading the hell out of the book Homegoing. Who wrote that book? Yasi, what's her name?
Yagasi.
Yagasi.
We ain't saying that poor woman's name.
We ain't saying it right, but
Yagasi.
We don't mean any disrespect, Queen. But this white girl. So listen, I picked this book up because I got frustrated. I was like, why did I never finish this book? It was so good.
So good.
And if you know Homegoing, you know that Homegoing chronicles like a family tree and lineage, how it splits off and how all of the different variables within that family, how that affects the people's lives. And so it's really one of those books that you need to read in like a sitting or in like a week to just get the full scope, the full picture. My dumb ass picked it up like everybody else. The whole plane was reading it when we were all going back to Ghana for the year of the return. Like the true Americans we are. We was like, we going home or whatever. And so, of course, when we landed, we never finished because we was out in the streets partying and carrying on. So I picked it back up like a year later and was like, oh, I need to finish this book. Started it over because, you know, I need that through line. Dropped it again. So now I didn't picked it up. And the most frustrating part was I was at least like 300 pages into the book.
Such
I was
a juicy
so close.
Book. Like how
it's so good.
You can't put it down.
I get caught up. I'm doing a lot these days. And so anyway, I said to myself, how can I incorporate this back into my life? Because I don't have a whole lot of time to sit still and read. And when I do, it's usually I'm researching for the pod. So I said, oh my God, I'm trying to go to bed early. Let me find an audiobook. Audiobook was a little expensive. So I said, let me just see if it's on YouTube. Because here's a life hack. You can usually find audiobooks on YouTube. I found the audiobook on YouTube, and it's a white girl killing it. She pronouncing these names better than I ever could.
Say it today?
I can't say it. I don't want to embarrass myself now. But she is on here killing it. What's the first chapter? What's her name? What's her name? You know who I'm talking about.
I don't remember none of them names.
Oh my God.
M'Baku embraced the father.
No. M'Baku is, don't be racist. That's Wakanda.
Girl, you ain't even see it. Don't be acting like you...
Oh, don't shame me. I'm gonna see it. It comes out on Disney Plus on the 20th. I ain't spending movie dollar money.
Not you
if
being
it's gonna come out. It's about to
influenced and educated by the whites.
What?
On YouTube.
What does that have to do with anything? Afia. You got Afia, Essie. I don't know. She's killing it. She's killing it. So just
Are you further
FYI,
along than where you
folks.
left off?
No, because the best part is it's helped me go to sleep. So I just finished chapter 1 because I fall asleep
This
within
sounds
2
like
minutes.
hell to me. That whole thing sounds like hell.
No, it's so good. I highly recommend it, y'all. Please go onto YouTube. I want to shout this young lady out. She is killing it.
You just a regular person reading it?
It's
or
just a
is
regular
she, like,
person, and I think she has a real career in what's it called?
reading?
Voiceover work. Her page is called Antisocial Studies. I love her. I love her so much.
What's her name? Althea? What's her name?
No.
Natalie.
Oh, her name is Miss Deming. Maybe she's a teacher. Oh my God, what if she's not white? Because her hair looks a little... All right, this just took a turn. Moving right along. We talked about Dr. Andrew Huberman. And then I'd like to also say that I'm a DJ. I keep telling y'all this. Shanti has confirmed it.
DJ
several
Clueless.
times.
Let's go.
My playlist go hard now. So, for those of you, I am a SoundCloud girl. I will hop on SoundCloud in a jiffy to get a good playlist going and a good mix. And I want to really shout out. I don't think that we've ever shouted him out. And he's from Philly. He's a young kid doing
Is
his
he?
thing.
He's a
Yeah,
young boy,
he's
too.
Philly. He's super young.
Oh, my God.
He's a baby. Amorphous? Is that how you
He
say his
is
name?
killing it. When he put Thriller and Alien Superstar together,
Y'all.
nigga.
And that's not even on SoundCloud. That's on YouTube. So make sure y'all check him out. I was skeptical of Thriller and Alien Superstar and played it and said, wow, what a time to be alive. It was a
We was
great
in
time
that car
in that car.
bobbing. First
We
of all,
were.
we are 96 years old. We just sat in a car listening to this.
No, we pulled up
screaming
to
at
a
each
bar.
mix.
We pulled up to a bar, looked inside. It was too busy. And we was like, let's just get back in the car and listen to Thriller and Alien Superstar. So that was our night out. But that's our hot shit for this week. And with that, since we had our meeting, we realized that we don't take breaks on the first episode anymore. And we don't exactly know why. So we're going to take a break. It's an official break. And I'm going to ask Shanti to sing for the first time in the new year.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop.
Is my thing delayed, or are you hearing me in real time?
I think I'm hearing you in real time. Am I not?
It's just
Your Ethernet one? Your Ethernet plugged in?
it is.
Ciao. Don't make it hot for Monty. Oh, here you go with the ghetto.
And we're gonna order this right after, I promise. All right.
Oh, I'm about to mess this GOP stuff up. Let me get my head right. Okay.
Get your mind right, money right, yeah.
It's tricky. I get excited and not my eyes. Are you ready? Be like, you ready?
Yes.
And we are back. So there were a lot of people tweeting. And an aside, Shanti is now on Twitter, y'all. That should have been an update. Shanti is on Twitter. I don't
know how to use this. I don't know what the threat, I don't understand what's happening. It's chaos. I don't know what an at, is an at.
An ad
I
is
don't
like
understand.
somebody talking to you.
But I don't know where the original comment that they're
Oh,
responding
you gotta
to.
open the thread.
Oh, girl.
Anyway, if y'all are on Patreon, y'all can see the ghetto that's happened over with Shanti. But
No,
Shanti's on Twitter, and I only bring that up because there were a bunch of people tweeting saying that they wish that we were recording during that GOP shit show that we all watched, child. You know, y'all know me. I was having a field day. I said, look at these fools. I mean, watching them try to come up with a Speaker of the House and watching McCarthy, what's his name? McCarthy. I always want to say McCartney, like Paul McCartney. Kevin McCarthy.
Oh,
Woo!
boy.
I also had half an edible. But watching him
Wait,
lose.
did you see that what I posted, that gibberish talk of the voiceover of him going back and forth?
No.
Oh,
Send
my
it to me.
God.
I didn't see it.
Oh, that's my kink. But go ahead.
All right. So anyway, y'all, here we go. I'm going to try to break this down for those of you that didn't know what was going on, or didn't care, or didn't see it. So Speaker of the House is a very important role. Speaker of the House used to be Nancy Pelosi, right? We no longer have the majority in the House. The Republicans have won the majority of the House by a very slim majority, 5 votes to be exact. And now they get to elect their Speaker. Now, Speaker of the House is second removed from the presidency. So if Joe Biden, something happens to Joseph Robinette, then Kamala's up there. If something happens to both of them, then we have Kevin McCarthy, who is Speaker of the House. But his road to becoming Speaker was quite trepidatious. The other thing is Speaker of the House is the person that basically determines what bills come onto the House floor. They basically determine how the House is going to be governed. If you do not have a Speaker, then the House cannot function. It literally is at a standstill. They can't do anything. They can pass no legislation. They can put no bills on the floor. They can do nothing. So while we were all paying our tax dollars and paying these people their salaries, they actually weren't able to work because they were sitting there carrying on, trying to figure out who Speaker was going to be. So Paul McCarthy he basically reaped what he sowed. He made that bed for himself, and now he had to lay in it. And this was historic and appalling and chaotic because this having to vote 15 times, that is, oh my God.
So nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted him.
Well, of course, the Democrats are all going to vote for, what's his face, Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries is who I kept saying we all know Nancy Pelosi is going to tag. And shout out to him. He's the first Black speaker of anything, of any house. He's the minority speaker, though. And every Democrat voted for him. But then you get to Paul McCarthy, and he didn't have the votes. Now, what's crazy about this, you don't bring this to the floor without knowing you have the votes. This only happened 100 years ago. So you don't say like, we're ready to vote on House Speaker without knowing that you've done the legwork to make sure you have the votes. This is not something that happens it's not like school where you're voting for class president. He was minority speaker. So this is years of him trying to put himself into this position. Now, what happened was the Democrats wanted them to keep voting and voting and voting, right? Without taking a recess to actually commune and figure out how the hell he was going to get these votes, because they wanted this on national TV. They wanted to show what a shit show the Republican Party is and basically show that they are unfit to rule. They can't even get themselves together, let alone the country. That's what they wanted to show. And then the Republicans kept voting and voting and voting because some of the Republican Party, which that far right that I keep talking about, that Matt, what is his name? Matt Gaetz and that little wench, Marjorie
Matt
Taylor
Gaetz,
Greene.
The younger looking guy.
He's a white. Well, the white guy.
Well, girl, that ain't helpful.
But if you Google him, you'll see him. They had a whole lot of demands of him. And then you had this other pocket, because it wasn't 5 votes that he lost from initially. It was 20. So 20 of his own party members was like, nah. And so,
which makes sense because he didn't commune with them beforehand and strategize.
He did. But what I'm saying is he just thought he was going to win. Like, what I'm saying is, of course he did. He's been campaigning for this behind the scenes. He thought he had the votes, which shows, what kind of leader are you? You don't even know that these people don't even want you as their leader. But I think that he was going to strong arm them, because he also was one of these people that was in Trump's pocket, even though he talked mad shit about Trump. And then when Trump came into power, he became one of his little puppets. And so it's showing, 2 things are being shown. Trump does not have the type of influence that he once did. to make
Amen.
everyone fall in line because they're seeing that these Trump candidates are losing. So he's losing the party in a bit, in a way. But then you're also, I'm straying from it because I'm about to get on Florida. I'm straying from, let me stay on this topic. So these 20 lawmakers who oppose to them are made up of two groups. One is like the ideologues, and they're the ones who basically, they have issue, not necessarily with Kevin McCarthy, but the way the House is run in general. And that was really led by Chip Roy from Texas. And so their thinking was that they were centered on fixing how lawmakers would even create bills and vote on them. So basically, lots of conservative lawmakers, they always are furious because they don't have enough time to review the entire bill or debate them. So they're forced to basically fall in line. You know how I always talk about Republicans fall in line, Republicans fall in line. That's because they are given a bill that's thousands of pages long and told, we're voting on this in 2 hours. This is how you're going to vote. So this group of, I'm not mad at them, right? Yeah. This group of Republicans were like, fuck that. We actually want to do our jobs. We actually want to read this bills. We want 72 hours at least to review bills. And so that gets tricky because, and they not only 72 hours to review them, but to also put up amendments, to also have so basically what's going to happen is these bills are not going to pass as quote unquote quickly as they once did. And those shit pass quickly anyway. So it's really about to be a lot of infighting, as a lot of pundits would say, but other people who view it as, well, that's democracy at work. They shouldn't just get a bill and they should be told to fall in line and vote as X. They should sit down with it, see what their delegates need in their states, and represent their states in these bills. So I'm not exactly mad at that. I'm interested to see how it's going to work because it will slow things down. But they also, which is very key, they wanted to be able to call a snap vote to oust the speaker. So what they're saying is they want any one person in the Republican Party in the House to be able to say, I am not happy with the Speaker of the House. I want to call a vote to oust him. Most people are not going to do that unless they know they have the votes or unless they just want to humiliate the speaker over and over, because it's basically political suicide. You're just going to be viewed as you're wasting time. But with that little thing being held over the speaker's head, the speaker now can't strong arm people as easily. He can't just say like, oh, well, you shut the fuck up and fall in line. This is what we're doing. This is another protective measure against that, because now that person can be like, okay, you are not representing my constituents, and we're calling a vote to oust you. And it's just a political headache and a mess. So that is also something they wanted. The other group were just like the Never Kevins. That's the far right, Matt Gaetz. I think I call him Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and others. They just viewed him as a part of the swamp, mostly because...
Part of the swamp.
Well, you know how they're always talking about, we got to rid the swamp. We got to drain the swamp. Basically, the swamp is like all of these politicians who are always... who have been in office for a long time. They've never gotten anything done. It's the same old bullshit. And they're just there for power, and they're inefficient. That's the swamp. And corrupt. Basically, he is Kevin McCarthy is actually a really conservative Republican. That's how he first started. But he quickly realized that the far right was starting to take over the party. So he cozied up with them, and he did a lot of backhanded stuff. He's considered very much a backstabber. He doesn't really have a spine, and he contorts himself to whoever's in power. I don't have time to go through it. I'm already taking up too much time on the podcast today. But if you want more information on it, I highly suggest you listen to The Daily, who summarized it so beautifully on their episode, A Crisis of Kevin McCarthy's Own Making. And that will get you up to speed. But anyway, he finally gets these people to fall in line. And this is all while C-SPAN is in the House with cameras everywhere. And the only reason why they were even allowed to have those cameras in there was because there was no House Speaker to tell them to get the fuck out. So C-SPAN was granted all this access that the American people have never seen, the type of chaos that happens in the House. They almost had one guy fight Matt Yates. Yates.
That's what you got to see. The old guy.
Yeah, he was, because it was. I think it was the 14th vote. And he voted present or something, and that meant that, he kind of tanked. And you got to realize these people, their families are in town. They were thinking, oh, we're just going to have this ceremony. These are newly elected officials. They want to have these ceremonies. Some people had to fly back home for personal reasons, come back to deal with it. It's a huge headache and inconvenience. And so people were furious. I'm sitting here all day. It's 11 o'clock. Are you still playing? Anyway, it was a shit show. And the concessions, we don't know what they all are. He definitely is allowing a single lawmaker to call a snap vote. Many hard right Republicans, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and them, they are sitting on very powerful committees within the House, a lot of which determine the House rules and even will be determining the budget. And it's
how will the Democrats respond? I mean, yeah. It's like, oh, you guys are a shit show, but also now they
have to just expose it, and they have to get their messaging together, and they also have to. AOC said something on her live that was really interesting. She said, "I've never learned so much about Republicans than that day." She's like, I see who's sitting next to who. I see who's infighting with who. I see who's more likely to make a deal with me, to reach across party lines. So you watch that, and hopefully you take it in because you understand the dynamics, who needs what, and how you can get what you need for your people as well. It's all a fucking game of chess. But we'll most likely see a lot of dysfunction every time a bill needs to be passed. And basically there's a lot of bills that they're just basic functioning bills. Like they just need to be passed in order to maintain order. Like spending bills, they'll need to be passed in order to make sure like the US doesn't default on their debt. Shit like that. And if you have Marjorie Taylor Greene saying the debt ceiling is too high, I don't approve this bill, and then the fucking bills don't get paid and the government shuts down, and then that's TSA not getting paid, that's this not getting, it is going to be very interesting to see how Kevin McCarthy handles this House. I would never want this job. I don't even know why the fuck he wants it.
What is his motivation?
It's going to be one of the hardest houses, and I said this. I said, and that's why it's so important, again, I'll get off this subject, to vote in these elections, because had we not voted the way we did, they would have had a much higher majority in the House. And then,
Democrats would have much higher majority.
No, had we not voted, the Republicans would have had a much higher majority. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and these folks, they wouldn't even matter. You could just be like, well, we outnumber y'all anyway. Your votes don't matter that much, whatever. But now they really matter, and it might be a shit show, but it's hopefully going to expose that type of thinking does not fundamentally work. We will see. Also, shout out to Dr. Dre, even though he's problematic, for getting Marjorie Taylor Greene the fuck out of here. She used his Still Dre on some sort of like campaign thing. And he
Why
was like,
would she do that?
She put it on Twitter and then got her Twitter like, I don't think she's banned, but she's suspended from Twitter because she's using music without rights. And then he's even taking legal action and about to sue her ass. He's also about to sell did you see that? Sell his catalog for $200 million. It's insane.
Sound like a lot, actually. His catalog?
I don't know if it's his catalog of stuff he's produced or his personal catalog. Because stuff he's produced is far reaching. That doesn't sound like enough. But anyway, I'm off that. I couldn't wait to talk about that. It was getting me going. That's all. Oh, I'm still up. Real fast, and I'll be fast on this. Biden's classified documents. This is such a shit show. Have you heard of this?
I heard a little bit about it, but no.
So basically,
he gave them back to the archive or something?
Listen. You know how Trump had classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, right? Yeah. And we were like, oh my God, you got the nuclear codes out here. This is a shit show. It's just,
Trump just had
whatever.
him in defense, right?
Now it comes out that Joseph Robinette, apparently he was moving in office, changing locations. There's under 12, at first it was under 12 classified documents were found in a private, I think his private office,
Desk or something.
which
Yeah.
should never be there. They immediately reported it. This is the key difference. Trump was hiding documents that the DOJ was asking him to return, and he was not complying.
Was he
for
hiding them, or was
months.
he just like, I'm not responding to y'all? Was he like hiding them, or he was just like, they mine, they're in my house?
Yeah, people would define that as hiding them because you won't give them back. And like they didn't even know what documents he had fully, and he wouldn't disclose that. So it's kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? Give them back. This is actually not your property. He was also flushing classified documents down the toilet, and the plumbers had to come in through the White House and fix the toilets. This is not the same thing. And I see Sean King. I see Sean King going to fuck in saying, we got to keep that same energy even when it's about us. And we do. And I'm very happy to hear now. Even more documents was the fuck found in his Corvette, which really upset me, child, this locked in his house. He's not able to talk about it. I think that he's saying it's just an egregious error on his part. He wants to fall on the sword and be like, none of these documents had any nuclear codes. It was nothing like that. And it was back when he was the vice president. The key difference is full cooperation. They are reporting it themselves and saying, holy shit, we found this. We fucked up. We need to give these documents back to you. And then the other thing is that he is not blocking the DOJ from hiring a special counsel to investigate this. So he's like okaying an investigation into himself and saying, go right ahead. Please make sure that everything is on the up and up. This was truly just an error and a mistake that won't happen again. That's just a key difference. I just want to point that out because I see everybody posting about it and it's getting on my nerves because we're not being media literate. That's all. And now I'm done. I didn't talk for like 25 minutes. Take it away, Queen.
Good job. Good work by you.
Thank you.
We just wanted to cover some of the pop culture events that happened while we were away. The most notable is Meghan Thee Stallion got her Christmas present. Tory Lanez was in fact convicted of shooting her. After that messy, strange court hearings, but come to find out, which made more sense to me, because I was like, given the information that was shared online, given those weird ass pseudo reporters that would come out all hyped up
they
and
weren't
tell
real
everybody
reporters.
what happened, there was key evidence such as a telephone call between Tory Lanez and her friend, like obvious key things that something happened that should not have happened, that he shot her. And so it makes sense. Because when I first heard it, I was like, oh, how
he was also paying for a lot of misinformation to be distributed by these bloggers who are not real reporters with any integrity.
It all made a lot of sense. And again, it brought up, just the discussion of her not being believed, us not believing Black women. And just the ways, what do you call that? The misogynoir, the collective misogynoir that happened. And
it's also
a lot of it being on our own, between us, more than anything.
It's also like, even though she got her Christmas present, she still doesn't win at all.
No.
Like she's still being dragged. There's still people who hate her. There's still all of this shame around the fact that she has to talk about her sex life publicly, that they tried to slut shame her, that, there is no win. There really isn't. And it's really unfortunate.
What a nigga getting locked up. But that brought up a whole other conversation.
Oh God, with his daddy.
About that. No, I don't know anything about his dad. But it brought up the conversation around
celebrating Black men being locked up,
and the abolitionist theory, and you think the prisons should be closed, but then you're like celebrating this Black man getting locked up. That's a whole other conversation. I would love to talk to somebody about that, but
we should. I mean, that's an important conversation.
Tricky.
I'm not tricky on that. Lock him up. I'm not tricky on it.
You support systems. You support prison systems.
I support systems. I don't know if I support I don't support the current prison system as is. I wish that it really was one where you actually try to rehabilitate folks and like get them to take accountability. Instead, it's just a way to make money because prisons are for profit. But yeah, I'm not losing sleep over Tory Lanez being in jail. I feel sorry for his kid that he brought into the court as a prop, which was crazy too. I feel sorry for a lot of people involved. It does not mean that I don't think that there needs to be some sort of rehabilitation, especially since you don't take any accountability. I don't have time for that. If you were saying like this was such a mistake and you're still denying it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm again, just like riding this terror and creating and kicking up dust around making her into a whorish villain, or using the same thing that a whore is a villain, using the same trope that anyway, that happened.
I knew I ain't like him when he had people twerking on his thing. And
I didn't know nothing about the boy. I know nothing
Apparently
about
he's
him.
really talented, but my old ass still listening to Puff Daddy.
Speaking of Puff Daddy, Puff Daddy welcomed his baby Love to the world. A lot of people, I think you did. A lot of people tagged me like, he had a baby. A lot of people tried to make it like Carisha was crazy, like Shane know what was going on.
I just wanted you to know what was going on with your favorite
Christmas
couple.
Day had their photo ops, and who was he with? Carisha, living their best lives, and his kids.
He was not with Carisha on Christmas. He was with his kids and his baby. He was with Carisha on New Year.
A couple of days later, whenever. That baby, first of all, is so cute.
It is.
She is beautiful.
She's so pretty.
He is living his best polyamorous life, and everybody want to talk about, we gotta break the systems, break out. And when you see people really doing it, everybody's mad. It's toxic. He's wrong. It's fucked up. She ain't happy. She can't be happy.
So we want to break the system until it's time to break the system. That's what you're saying. That's what
everybody
you're saying about Tory
fuck
too.
These things.
Listen to Shanti. Shanti said, "Free love and free Tory, y'all. Get her."
What?
I'm talking about you breaking the system.
No, people talking about breaking the boxes around relationships.
Yeah.
But
how do you feel?
Just really do it. Everybody's just.
They still your favorite?
You just want to see you fail. You want to see them miserable.
I don't.
Not you.
Fail.
The collective you. Oh. Maybe you too. But everybody wants to see.
I don't. I actually think I think Carisha said she knew about that baby anyway. He said, I knew about that baby. Listen, I just want Carisha to stop arguing with his other ladies on social media look crazy. Just enjoy him then if you in a good old relationship.
That is part of the complexities and the interpersonal engagement that is required to have polyamory.
That's where you lose me. It's the requirement. It is required to cuss these bitches out on Twitter. No, it's not.
No, it's not required. That's not required. But the instances of jealousy, the instances of arguments, the people not liking each other.
Are you trying to tell us something?
No, I'm not trying to tell you anything.
Okay. I'm just curious because this polyamory kick, I'll be like,
I'm just saying, shit.
Listen, let me tell you something.
It's a possibility.
If you wind up with somebody like Diddy and you on yachts and carrying on and acting up and JoJo with you, I'll be like, all right, girl.
Yachts and stuff. You could be middle class man. He could just be doing the best that he can.
I don't know.
Because Diddy has money.
I don't know if I'm letting a middle class man have a baby on me. I'm sick of it here.
Not a baby on me.
I know everybody's in the loop. Got it. But I just don't.
You're not for it. I understand.
No, I see polyamory. I get it. Most of us are in polyamorous relationships. If we want to keep it a buck now, if we out here dating and doing our little things, and that is at some point, it might not be a committed relationship, but it's a relationship that you have to manage. You have to manage your emotional well-being. You have to manage your time commitments. You have to manage your sexual health and make sure all parties are good because you're not in this committed relationship. And then a lot of people in committed relationships are also in polyamorous
No,
relationships.
talk about it.
It's just not
Fully functional. You're just not naming
true
it. You're
one.
just in denial. Just
Right.
won't name it what it is. Polyamory, yuck.
You
I could
just
never.
get got or get lied or lied to yourself.
Or you know.
I just
Or
want.
you know, and you're resisting it. Or
I
you
said,
know,
or
and
you-
you're upset about it.
Oh no.
It's
Tricky.
all right. Lean in.
Lean in. That's it.
Fully
Lean in. Get weird. And break the system.
I love it for them. Shout out to them. And that baby
Speaking
love.
of babies, I'm really happy to see. I don't know if I'm happy actually. I'll take it back.
Oh.
Naomi, what's her name? Osaka. Yes, Naomi Osaka is a first time mommy, and I was I thought she was like 19, so I was all worried. She's 25, but still, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so young. No, is that what age?
No,
It's
you're in
not
your
all
prime
about
time.
money.
That's when your body ready. You ain't tired. You snap back. Prime time.
Oh really?
Rich, 21. Pop it out. Let's go. Remember
Wow.
the whole time that Hillary Duff, all the young white girls were like having babies at incredibly young ages and nobody
Was it
said
Hillary?
anything?
I thought it was the
Hillary
other lady's
Duff,
sister.
Nicole Richie. It was just like a cluster of white girls that were having babies at like 21, 22.
I
And
don't
nobody
think
had
Nicole
blink
Richie.
an eye.
I think you just made that up. I think you made that up for both those girls.
All right.
It was
Hillary Duff.
Jessica Simpson's sister, Ashley Simpson. She had
And
a baby
Ashley
young.
Simpson. It was a whole bunch of them. It was a
All
whole
right,
bunch
keep
of
going. Keep going. You looking it up too?
them. Yeah. I'm sure
Where?
of it. Nicole Richie, they were young. They were like, and everybody didn't blink an eye. The Kardashian girls had babies, or the one with the fake lips. They all have. Do they all have fake lips?
Why
Do
are
they
you
all
making that
have
up?
fake lips? The one that has really nice fake lips. Not even gonna hold her. She had a baby
Kylie,
young.
hers, she
Kylie,
killed
where's
it.
Kylie? But most recently, also happening in the pop culture world are the Emmys. Now, I knew nothing around the controversy of the Emmys, but apparently they have been recovering from very bad optics. There was a 2021 Los Angeles Times story that came out and revealed that none, that is so funny. None of the 87 Hollywood Foreign Press members were black. What's his name? What's the nigga that stomped on the couch?
Dave
short
Chappelle?
guy?
Who
No.
stopped? Oh, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise.
Cruise was all
He
appalled
didn't
and
stop. He was jumping. I was like, Dave Chappelle
I
stopped
love
on the
that
couch.
you said Dave Chappelle, but he was all appalled and he opted not. He refused to come on. NBC opted not to air the ceremony. They just had a whole lot.
We had a
of bad
woke that year,
publicity.
baby.
Especially not on that year, child. People were upset. The whites were allies.
You
With
hear me? So I'm not
Fist
going.
raised.
Scientology told me not to do it.
So the reform of inclusivity has began, and this year they tried to come out with all of the flags waving, the black pride flag, the gay pride flag, everything. All of the inclusivity flags were raising. And it was hosted by Jerrod, our boo.
I love Jerrod Carmichael. Please
Look good.
come
He's
into
so
the group.
cute.
He's so cute. I be like, you know
So
what? I know you gay,
attractive.
but you gay.
You
What's
gay
up?
for real though?
You gay for real? And if
You
so,
bi.
come be our friend.
Just be bi. He's like, absolutely not. Yuck. Vagina's disgusting.
No, he would be our friend. I'm gonna make it happen. Watch.
But apparently he handled it very well. Do you want to go? You were very impressed by this.
Oh, I just thought he was
I
brilliant.
saw his intro, and his intro was basically saying the reason that he does the. I'm finally seeing what his comedic storytelling or his comedic stick is. Is he
What
does
is it?
this
How would
very,
you define it?
this very like thoughtful narrative storytelling. He loves to tell the story.
Mhm.
He loves to be thoughtful, and then throw in a little comedy,
Yeah.
make it the real life horrors funny. But he feels really, really thoughtful, and he feels really like intentional. That he's
He
not
feels
just
intentional. Mm-hmm.
he's not just out here.
He was there for a good time, not a long time. He knew it. He will probably never host another award show a day in his fucking life. But I think he's able to sleep at night. I think he got Every little, or he highlighted all of the things that they were trying to cover up with the way they approached the awards. So, and also shout out to what's her name? Rab B, the photographer who does all Beyonce and Jay stuff. She was the photographer for the Golden Globes as well. So they had a black producer, black photographer, like, all, you know. My limited vocabulary doesn't allow me to express how impressed I was with them, but I have a quote. And it says, towing the line between calling out the Hollywood foreign press for its past indiscretions, pointing out the absurdity and hypocrisy of the industry, and still having fun cracking jokes and celebrating talent in the room may have seemed like an impossible task, but it's one that Carmichael didn't pull off flawlessly, but he did a damn good job. Carmichael approached the show with irreverence and a brutally honest discomfort it deserved.
Word.
And I think that captured it perfect. I love that idea of him. He loves to point out things that are absurd, and people are upset about this Whitney Houston joke he had.
What did he say?
He was like, you know, I'm so happy that we're all back celebrating in the same place to kill Whitney Houston, because they were in the same, like, I guess, hotel, like the actual space.
Oh no!
But he's pointing out the absurdity of it, of like, we're all here celebrating, and then this thing, this fame monster that we're all a part of, this machine we're all a part of, we're in the same space that it took our very, like, beloved icon from us.
Wow.
And we haven't done anything really to change it yet. But put my black ass up here and say it's all better. And so people don't see that, and they don't take the time to really see the full message. And part of the delivery as a comedian is that you run the risk of your message getting lost. But if he doesn't approach it that way, then he's just a fucking podcaster, just up there talking his shit and be like, hey guys, did you know that we haven't taken care of these, you know, demons? And but like, that's not his medium. That's not the way he does it. And I just, kudos
Shout
to him.
out to them for picking him. What a hot.
No, that he told the story. They didn't pick him. The producer picked him. The black producer. His homie and his home. Yeah. Did you listen to the damn monologue where he said
I didn't listen to that monologue.
I can't stand you. I knew it.
But shout out to black people. Shout out to nepotism that got him in there from a black person.
It wasn't nepotism. I can't stand you, y'all. The way irritate me.
I did not watch that. I watched other things.
I told you to just watch the monologue. Well, when we're off here, you got to watch the monologue because you will enjoy it. She said, word. That's what he did. She ain't even fucking.
That's why I told you to handle this, because I wasn't going to go into it.
Bye. Go ahead, girl.
I will go in to talk about some of the winners. Now, I don't know nothing about the Emmys. I didn't know the Emmys covered movies and television.
Yeah, girl.
Amazing. What a broad spectrum of.
This wasn't the Emmys, though. This was the Golden Globes. But continue, Queen.
For real?
Yes.
Then I have. All of these are incorrect then. This has to be all wrong.
Did you pull from the Emmys or the Golden Globes? Y'all, Shanti gotta read your list so I can laugh.
Oh my God. What? It was the Golden Globes? Oh. I know this is outdated.
You can't make this up. First fucking week back, and you out here carrying on.
Hold on a minute.
All right, House of Dragon won. That's true.
Oh no, this is right.
Okay.
I must have just said the Emmys is wrong. I must have had the right. Yeah, no, it was right. It's right.
Okay, cool.
I was still shocked that Zendaya still won. I said, girl, that's not been on for a long ass time. This girl's still out here for that.
House of Dragons, I was shocked. And they were shocked. And did you see the girl? Wait, I was shocked. It was shocking. Did you see the young lady who plays the older version of the lead? I forget her name.
The blonde or
the blonde.
The queen or the
blonde, not the queen.
What's she do?
You need to Google her just right now in this very moment.
I know what she looked like. She looked crazy.
Google. I'm not going to say nothing about nobody now. I was just shocked. Google House of Dragon. I don't even know if that's what it's House of the Dragon. Black people say it wrong. Emmys or Emmy win and just see her. And she was so awkward. It was painful. It was actually painful. And the first thing that Miguel Sapochnik said was that he didn't think they would win. You taking too long to find this. And it lost its luster.
But anyway.
Miguel Sapochnik, I think. That's the, director.
Of the movie winners that won, I was upset that Everywhere All at Once didn't win.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once?
That didn't win. I am happy that Michelle Oh won for the Best Actress.
Her speech was beautiful. Did you see it?
No.
Okay.
Angela Bassett, I watched her speech. She looked so gorgeous. Gorgeous.
She's the first MCU actor to ever win an award for their performance.
She looked great. She looked fabulous.
We just backed how she looked, not her accomplishments.
She did. We know. Listen, we all know Angela is a bad bitch.
Did you see her husband?
I think she did well for Black Panther too. I think that was a really good performance. It was much stronger, or she was far more present, of course, than she had to be in the second one and the first one. So I think that was great. I didn't see her husband.
He was just like this the whole time with his camera, taking the video.
Who else? Sherry Lee Ralph. I did see that, where the woman went up to her and said, Sherry Lee Ralph, what would you say to your 15-year-old self? And she was like, your nose ain't too big. Your skin ain't too dark. The way your hair grows out of your hair is the way you're supposed to be. And your lips are perfect. Someday some girls called the Kardashians are going to pay $15,000 for them. And then she posted the next day and said, I said what I said, not tonight. I swear to God, if you get on Twitter now, you'd have seen that. That's what she posted. I loved it. The other winner too, Quinta won. And Everybody Hates Chris Young Boy, he won, who's in the same show. Yeah, he won. With his little awkward, cute self. And Eddie Murphy won a Lifetime. They just made it black. That was like, all right. You get a one. Everybody.
You get a card. You get it. was like, okay, y'all, this is heavy-handed. But not saying they didn't deserve to win. They were great. And Eddie Murphy's speech, boo, because he brought up Will Smith. And it
was so funny. I thought that was so funny. I'm sorry that I have to do this, but I have an emergency. JoJo is calling me repeatedly, but she never does. So hold on 1 minute. I'm sorry.
She okay? Is she okay? She gotta be.
Hello?
She okay?
Yeah, she's okay. I apologize. You put the time down? Okay.
For real, is she okay?
No, she's fine.
All right. Ciao. All right, where do we pick up? Pick up from Zendaya and the bear.
Now, I am unpopular opinion. For Best Actress, this is a TV series, drama series. Zendaya won over My Woman from Ozark, which I just find, I don't get it.
That's anti-black.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Anti-black.
I really don't. Jeremy Allen White from The Bear won for Best Actor. I was sad again to see that they didn't win for Best Series, but they did lose against Abbott Elementary. So I understand. You haven't watched The Bear, right?
Can I say something? The whole time you talked about The Bear, I thought it was a documentary. I had no idea it was a scripted show with like character development from that aspect.
It's
No
so
idea.
good.
Clueless. I was like,
I'm most impressed with the black girl. I love the black girl of the show, who's a comedian. First of all, she's not even a dramatic actress.
we
She's a
should all be
comedian.
shocked since she hates on Zendaya so badly.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't hate on Zendaya. I just don't. I love Euphoria. That's my jam. I can't. I'm gonna wait the 5 years for it to come out for the next season and be spellbound and ready for it. But I don't think she should have won for that.
She
And the
didn't
House
even
of
show
Dragon.
up.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon.
What?
No, that was terrible. Everybody in the room it sucked the air out the room. That's why I'm like, this is all political. It's no way that these people really win. Also, I love the fact that every black woman who was up on that stage flirted with Brad Pitt. They shot. Did you see him?
Regina Hall was my favorite. She was like, you want to call me Regina Pitt?
She's like, that is so disrespectful, babe. I'm sorry.
Even he's mad. Look, he's upset about it. She's so cute.
I gotta say, that's a handsome man. Did you see him?
He's looking good. He's looking like he's taking. He went for like a bloated
beautiful
stage, and I was concerned about him.
He was suffering, I think, from alcoholism.
He's doing a stuck thistle. He's looking beautiful.
Shout out to him. Anyway, yeah, the Emmys that happened. That's all the pop culture I have. Y'all thought we was gonna have a lot of pop culture. Really, it's just all politics.
That was a lot of politics. It was heavy, but we have more for the next episode. So.
What's the through line of this episode? We trying to have a ending. We trying to button it up. Moving forward. That doesn't look like we have one.
The through line is, I don't know.
Oh my God, this failed.
Something around mediocrity.
What? When did we get the mediocrity? Why mediocrity? Because of House of the Dragons?
And McCarthy. Somehow it pushes through. I don't know. Somehow that shit just be.
What if it was about, I think
politics as usual?
No, that's a segment. I think maybe the through line is what you said, that we afraid to dismantle the system until you got to dismantle the system. That comes from Tory. Yeah, that comes from the Tory. Do we really want to abolish prisons? It comes from, do we really want democracy? Because it's about to slow this whole fucking thing down and the government might shut down.
Wow.
And then do we really want to dismantle this shit? Or do we just want to hire black folks to come into the Emmys and cover it up? Do we really want to dismantle?
Every single episode that we have, though. I don't know how we won't.
Do we really want to dismantle the limitations of what relationships are and are not within the Western world? Or do we need to get free? On the next episode of Around the Way Crew.
Puffy and Carisha do their thug thizzle.
All right, y'all. That was it. That was a quick one. Mm-hmm. Half the damn thing was politics. You got anything else to say? I feel bad.
No. Welcome back to Around the Way Girls. See y'all on Thursday.
With that,
make sure to rate, subscribe, and comment.
Come on, with that, we are out. Well, that through line kicked your ass.
That was good.
Like, you know that video of that lady when she's at court and they ask her something, she goes, "No." That's how you were. You never seen that? I gotta send that fucking. Oh, that thing is so funny. Also, Elvis Presley's daughter just died. She was only 54. Mm-hmm. It just came up.
The one that married Michael Jackson?
Yep. I forgot they got married. Yeah, look at her. She died.
How did she die, Antoinette?
I knew that she was in the hospital for heart stuff today. She had a cardiac arrest.
She was doing drugs. She was not.
Oh my God. You don't know that. She was doing drugs. Or she was eating at Texas Roadhouse. Tricky.
Those people are not going to live long. I was looking at the sea of those people. I said, this is the healthcare's base right here.
This is healthcare's wet dream. Biden I can't believe Joseph did that. All right, you ready? Mm. Did that feel good? Felt a little rusty. I gotta keep listening to my audiobooks. I can't find my words from my white girl. I need to look. Oh, that was what I needed to do. Thank God. Let me get
I'm
these
gonna
voicemails.
yell
Do
at
you
my
want to do
phone.
all? I guess. Are there any voicemails you want to save?
I don't know what these are. What is this Sable second meeting?
Huh?
Is that the Sable second meeting? A weasel with a short tail and
Somebody
brown
called
dark
about
fur?
Sable.
Why did
You'll see.
someone leave a message to say that, first of all?
Uh-oh. I think I just messed something up. Oh my God.
What'd you say?
I just messed something up. Somebody called about Sable, but they were saying that they looked up what it meant, and there it does. We'll go into
There's
it. You'll
two
see.
meanings. Why
Yeah, but you'll see. You'll see. But she was
Joe?
tight.
Come on now.
What'd she do?
She needs to be in bed like yesterday.
Okay. All right. Let me just set up this Bluetooth to the phone because I had it on a computer. And that wouldn't work. Okay. Google edible setting. Google Voice. All right. Okay. I'm ready. Oh,
Changing our